workplace violence happens in all societies. It's not about an African culture, okay? It's about, again, power relations, where you have, if it's against women, where you have men having power and the women are not protected, men will take advantage of that power and oppress them. And in our society, the weak and the vulnerable are victims. You have women who are victims of violence, you have young children, you have the poor, you have the disabled. Okay, they're all victims. If you go to a hospital, you find crippled women, blind women who are victims. You have pediatric sexual abuse. So we need to, first of all, say that as a country, okay, we have citizens and human beings, and they have rights. Those rights are inviolable. You cannot violate them in the name of a culture. You cannot beat a woman because your culture says you can beat her. She's a Nigerian citizen entitled to protection. It doesn't matter what you think. Okay, because these are the values that we live by in this time. You cannot abuse a child. Okay, we have a Universal Basic Education Act. It says every child is entitled to basic education, right? If you take a child out of school, you're supposed to commit an offense. How many people have ever been arrested for taking children out of school? You know why? Because the government has not provided the schools. It's all well and good to talk about child marriage. You go to a village in some parts of the north, and there's a primary school, and that's it. So the girl finishes school at 11. Between 11 and 18, what arrangements have you made for her? There's no secondary school. There's no skills center. There is no provision at all for her life. The poor man basically finds that she's 12, 13. He's afraid that she can go and get pregnant on the road, and the next young man that comes, he marries her off. Okay, so you've got to understand that sometimes these cultures basically reflect poverty. It's not about supply, demand is also supply for education. Let's build the schools. Let us go and make sure that we have the primary schools, we have the secondary schools, we have the teachers. And then let us see if people do not take their children to those schools. So for me, it's very easy to blame culture. It's very easy to blame a victim. When you sit in a city like Kano, you see all the schools, you don't know what's happening in the village. Okay, when you go there, I mean, it will take how many hours it will take a girl to get from a village to the local government headquarters because the roads are not good, because the roads are not safe. We don't have safe environments. So we need to basically understand that some of these things are very, very complex. But as a nation, we need to have certain common agreements, certain values. And in this week, we'll have got to say, look, it is simply not acceptable for you to beat a woman. Simple. It doesn't matter what you think your culture says. The Nigerian law does not allow you to do it. Okay, there are things that are just unacceptable. You cannot abuse a child. Doesn't matter what you think. Okay, that becomes the culture that we have. Now, many of these things, like I say, are not even cultural. They're just people who take advantage of positions of power and exploit and abuse, and then justify, find some justification in the name of culture. It's a culture of oppression, culture of violence, and that culture needs to change.